For this week's Alteryx Weekly Challenge, we're looking at NFL data, and I won't pretend to know a lot about NFL, but the challenge is really clearly laid out in nice sort of step-by-step instructions, so it's quite easy to follow, even if you have no idea what the data is all about. So we start off with this draft pick value, and we can see that we've got the numbers 1 to 32 here with their associated values, and then rather than it going on to 33 down here, it goes on to 33 in another column. So basically we just want all these values to be in the same column. We want two columns, one for the pick number and one for the value, rather than it looking like this. So what we need to do is to reshape our data. So we're going to use the transpose tool, and we're going to have all of those columns ticked so that basically all of the headings here are going to be now rows instead, and our values are going to coincide with that. So we can see that here. This name column is the field headers before, and this value is all the values that are in there. So we can see that we've got our 1, our 33, these are the ones that are at the top here, 1, 33, 65, etc., and so forth. So basically, from the information about the pick numbers and the values associated with them, the lower the pick value, the higher the value should be. So it's all very chronological. So basically, we don't need these anything that is in a column that's the pick number and the value, because if we can sort these values in the right order, then we'll know what number to assign to them. So we're going to filter out basically all of these values here. So they're gone. So now we've only got the pick values, and then we'll just sort them in a descending order and just number them basically from 1 to 224. So that gives us our pick number and our value associated with the pick number. So that's nice and easy. We then have lots more data input. This is for different years, the players and the teams and the pick numbers and the grades. So because all of these inputs have the same data structure, we can just union them together. So stack them one on top of the other, and then we can use them all as one data set. So if we see the output there, then we've got many more rows and all the years that we were hoping for. So now we want to basically know the value associated with the pick. So we're just going to join these two data sets that we have together. We're going to join on the pick and the pick number, and we can see that our data's got wider. We've added on the extra column of value, which is great. We check our left and right outputs. There's nothing coming out of the right output. Great. But there is something coming out of the left. So this is all the pick numbers that are above 224. And we are told in the requirements above that anything higher than 224 should have a pick value of 2. So we're going to union these data sets back together, so stack them back on top of each other, and that will just give all the pick values a null. If I show you there, we can see that they're all null. These are all the ones that came out of the left output, and we just want to assign this null, change this null to being a 2. So that's the formula we need there. So if our value in that column is null, we'll give it a 2. Otherwise, keep the value that you got from the join. So that's great. So now all we need to do is we need to calculate those metrics that we need to calculate the draft efficiency. We need to do some aggregations basically. So for each year and for each team, we're grouping those fields, grouping by those fields, and we're just going to sum up the grade and sum up the value so that we can make that calculation by doing the sum of the grade over the sum of the value, as we're told, making sure to change this data type to a double because it defaults to be a string, but we want to sort these numbers, so we want them to be numerical values, so we can sort them numerically basically. So then for each year, we want to sort our drafting efficiency in descending order, so that now when we use the sample tool, we can group it by the year and only take the first 3 teams for that year, and we have our desired output. So that was quite a good way to use quite a variety of tools, and I think this is a really good challenge actually. I might be stealing this for training in the future. So thanks for listening today,